Racing podcast, it's the ultimate ride where the rubber meets the road and the sparks fly wide. From wrecks and wins to what's going online, we cover it all every moment in time. Fights in the pits or a hero's last stand. If it happened at the track, you'll hear it firsthand. Tune in and buckle up tight, cause the Bench Racing Podcast is your fun night.
Thank you for tuning into the Bench Racing Podcast, presented by not Beth Straczynski, because she's missing again, but Michael Olson, myself, Derek Crane, and we got a special guest, Autumn Tilton, on today's show, where the talk is fast, the drama is real, and it's all about the local racing. Proudly sponsored by North Central Emergency Services, Dirtex Industries, and Sprecker's Brewery. So start your engine, boys and girls. It is showtime, and wow, what a few nights of racing. We have, can anyone beat Adam Taylor is our first topic, and our second topic are obviously the bands, because we have to talk about the bands. Got to give the people what they want. We're going to be playing back and forth, and of course we're going to be going through our driver of the nights and reviewing our bats. But we're going to start the show off, of course, with how was your weekend. We'll start off with Autumn.
My weekend was okay. We were in Michigan for the weekend visiting some family, and I had a bunch of work stuff that we got to do. So we had a free vacation weekend in Michigan. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. Means I missed getting to actually show up and watch the race on Saturday, but that's okay. I was stalking it on my race pass. I made Chris drive so I could watch my race pass on the way home.
I heard we missed nothing Saturday. Absolutely nothing.
No, yeah, I mean it was a rough week of track from what I hear, man. Rough week. Just no action, no drama, no nothing.
Oh yeah. Michael, how was your weekend?
Pretty good, actually. Obviously we raced Saturday. We timed in second that night. We went fourth to first in the heat race, and then third to second in the feature. I can't say the last 8, but the last I'd say 6 laps up till the final caution. Well, first off, shout out Nathan. He ran a hell of a race on Saturday. But we were reeling him in. He had no idea the top was there in 3 and 4, and he had a caution not come out. It was going to get real interesting because CJ was rolling the top really well. Then the caution came out, and Nathan hit the nitrous, and he put a second on us down the front straightaway, and it took us 4 laps to shave any of that off. So he did what he had to do, and he ran a phenomenal race. He was lights out on the cushion in 1 and 2, and he probably would have been lights out on the cushion in 3 and 4. And then Tuesday, we raced again, and we sucked in qualifying. First time ever in this class, so we did not make the invert. So we timed in 9th, and put us behind the 8 ball to start the night. We started 5th in the heat. We got up to 3rd. Luckily for us, not luckily for Ethan Steer, he went backwards in his heat and fell out of the top 5. So it bumped us into the invert for the feature. And, our luck is used up because we still started 8th. So we're back to getting 8-balled by the invert. But we were able to put a really good race together. We drove up to 3rd. We took over the points lead on Saturday naturally, and then obviously with what our main topic is today, we'll be talking about, that allowed it to get pretty big, pretty fast. So a good 8-3 run, gives us 5 passing points. We got 2 passing points in the heat race, kind of made up for the shitty qualifying run. And overall it was a really good 2 races, and we're sitting pretty good for these last 5.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that now the Wisconsin wingless and the 604 wings are halfway done through their season. which will make next week's topic super easy. Love that. But it's the beginning of July. I just feel like it's kind of wrong. Yeah, I knew CJ took the lead because of our main topic. But I didn't realize it was by that much. 69 points over Chris Klemko, and Nathan blowing a motor the first night. It was first night, right? First night he blew a motor.
I think it was opening night.
Yeah. 95 points out. So coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's maybe a second place. So, I mean, if you take like the average of like 65 points, Nathan should be second. But still, a lot of racing to go. Like I say, if someone can gap you by 95 points and it's only halfway, the other driver has that opportunity to get the 95 points back.
One bad night's all you need.
Seriously. My Saturday night was fun. I had baby spit up all over me. Landon and I went for walks. Ashley had a wedding, so she was shooting that. And with our baby and it being obviously our first, and we're doing everything for the first time, we really wanted to make sure like we were both there when we brought him to the track, so we could just see that for firsthand. But yeah, I was watching on my race pass, and I forgot around like 8:00 to check because then Landon had to go down and all that. And I looked at 11:15, and I freaking see Nathan parked it, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! You gotta be. I mean, I'm happy, so happy. But the last time he won was August 8th, 2020, and I was not there. Do you know why I was not there? Because Ashley and I got married the day before. So I'm like, that's it. I just can't be there for him to. If I'm not there, he will win a feature. So I guess I can take one for the team. But yeah, no, super happy for my brother, the shirtless wonder, picking up his third career win, first in a winged car. And then Tuesday was awesome. Just like when I was looking, because we had the wing 604s as our bets, and seeing CJ start fifth, and I was like, all right, I might extend my lead here. But the way CJ fired off in the heat race, he went +2 or 3 in the heat race.
Yep.
And I was like, he's the car to beat. Like BK didn't pull from him. What he kind of got in clean air. So it's always fun to be a spectator, drink some of the beer, and just enjoy Wilmot Raceway. And fireworks were lit on Tuesday.
So much better this year.
Yes, Ashley was like, that was the best that she's seen at Wilmot. So I'm glad to see the fireworks going in the right direction, at least.
Honestly, the fireworks last year themselves weren't bad. I think the reason everybody
remembers it
so much is because we had a concert going on while we were watching them, and the amount. I can't even get into it. I'll get myself canceled.
Yeah. Oh man. See, this is why we should have a video podcast, because Autumn's face is as red as her hair right now, laughing. Oh man. I will
say though, this year's concert during the fireworks was a concert of joy. It was. Yes. I sat right behind Kyle and Adam, and they had an absolute blast watching the fireworks. Mm-hmm. They were laughing so hard and cheering and just so excited. Adam just kept saying, pretty, 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 pretty. And it was the sweetest thing ever. It brought such a big smile to my face.
Oh yeah. It's a great time. Especially Adam. I love Adam. He's my big 2 fan. Kyle's my big 1, but he's my big 2 fan. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to go into our first topic here, the starter fluid conversation, which is, can anyone beat Adam Taylor? And I only got 2-word one-word responses from both of you. No. And I'm like, great, we can get 25 minutes out of that. But thankfully our main topic happens. But we're going to start off with, can anyone beat Adam Taylor? I say no. Nope.
I say no.
Autumn?
I say that Eric Wilkie is my Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is our only hope.
He's giving you hope. These are not the droids you're looking for. So okay, great, awesome. No one can beat Adam Taylor. But however, I do think there are drivers that can win a battle here or there, but not the overall war.
Right.
Because
I would agree with that.
currently he's 102 points ahead of second place, Tim Cox, no slouch. 111 points over Tyler Cuxhouse. Again, one of the most dominant cars last season.
Yeah.
He's 200 points ahead of Zach Radar, the defending IRA champion. And of course, why does that matter? Well, most of the races are at Wilmot, so you have to have a really good Wilmot season to win the championship in the traveling series. And then Alan Hafford in fifth, 267 points behind, and that's obviously IRA. Now, the Wilmot points, he's leading the non-members championship, so woohoo. Fighting the power. But Michael has some stats here of where he would probably be if he was a member.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously he's won 2 features at Wilmot alone, but his overall stats between IRA, Wilmot, and the 2 American Sprint Car Tour races he's run it's honestly impeccable. He's run 11 features. He's won 5 of them. He's ran top 5 in 10 of the 11. The only reason that he probably doesn't have an 11th top 5 is because he DNF'd one night. So realistically, if you look at it as you don't count the feature that he didn't finish, and say he just ran 10 features, he has a 50% win rate in across all wingless racing this season, which, I mean, that's insane. And then you break it down even farther and you look at where he starts every night, and this dude has gained 39 positions in feature racing and lost 0. He hasn't gone backwards one night, not even lost one spot. It's honestly remarkable.
That's crazy.
He parks in the back. He's not one of the guys I like, because I like parking in the back, but parks in the back, stays to himself. He's driving for Dotery, which is another thing too, is if you think it's the car, well, Miles is on a hot streak too right now. He's just had that spin on Father's Day weekend when he was running third or fourth or something. That was top 3, top 5 for him for sure. Dotery cars. I think Dotery cars are almost becoming that dream team to drive for in the wingless.
Yeah.
We'll start with Autumn with here. Who is your pick to at least give Adam Taylor a headache?
Oh, dang. I mean, that's tough. Guys winning 50% of the races.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it across different groups at different places. So that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to say we could give him a run for his money one of these days.
One of these days, if Stan's ever done.
Just saying. I'd love to give it a whirl.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. I would love it, but it is what it is. 3, 2, 1 to go. Michael. Sorry. I had a brain fart.
I have a couple guys that I think could beat him. At the top of the list, you have your obvious ones. You have Tyler Cuxhouse, you have Zach Radard. I've only seen the wingless cars race outside of Wilmot in person once this year. So I haven't been able to really know what kind of track conditions they're dealing with at other tracks. But Wilmot, for the most part, has been up around the top on a curb, letting your what's drag on the floorboard and just giving it. Adam Taylor comes from the midget background, where whether you're on the bottom, you're on the middle, you're on the top, you're running through black slick, you're always letting your what's hang out. I think Tyler Cuxhouse and Zach Radar are 2 that can also do that and probably give him a run, as well as Rusty Egan. Rusty runs the top very well. And then I have two more. One is kind of an obvious competitor. It's I think it's going to take the right track for him, but it's Tim Cox. I think you get that track where it's better on the bottom. I think Tim could potentially outrun Adam. And then my last one is the super wild card in it. And it's actually Miles Doherty.
I was thinking him. I was
he-
thinking.
I don't know if like Adam started doing what he's doing this year, and they all sat down and they're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do to get Miles better. But whatever changed like a third of the way through the year lit a fire under his ass, and I mean he's got it rolling. I think he's run
Kool-Aid for sure.
Something.
Yeah.
I mean he's run second to Adam twice now. I think it is, and it will
the
probably
one
be a
time he
third
almost
time.
beat him.
Yeah, exactly. Was it the night? I think it was a night at Angel Park. They ran 1-2, and then was it Plymouth? They ran 1-2, I believe.
I think so.
And I think they probably would have ran 1-2 at Wilmot if Miles didn't spin out. It's insane.
Miles is the one that I'm like the wild card because I almost assume that the lack of speed at the beginning of the year was more him than the car because his big ride last year, and he didn't get out at all. I think maybe maybe a practice session or something. Like he hasn't really been back in the car since his big flip on Father's Day weekend last year. Which fun fact was Autumn's first time at the track. So that was and that was an all white car. And that was the first night where we brought up the backup, which was an all white car. So that was fun to tell her that was not us.
Was a heart-stopping moment for me.
Yeah. But now I think he's got that voodoo off of him of just like that whole thing, which was not even his fault either. So I think he's like the wild card for me. But I mean, if you're trying to make Miles one bad mofo, they definitely got the ingredients to make that long-term work. So I have my obvious ones. Eric Wilkie, Zach Radar, both have feature wins this year. Wilkie has one at Wilmot. So does Radar, but Wilkie also has a traveling feature at Angel Park earlier this year.
Which is Adam Taylor's stomping grounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of like where like, all right, yeah, you got 100,000 laps at Wilmot, Wilkie, and this guy comes in and kind of beats you. But if you go back over there and you can do it to his home track, 100%, you got something. You can at least take it to him. But obviously Doherty, another one, another two that I think if the track went to their liking, it'd be Tim Cox and Alan Hafford. I think if the track goes to what they like, they're almost unbeatable. Like 9 out of 10 times, if they're starting in the top 6, top 8, you can't even count them out, even if it's a flag to flag feature. But the one that I think is going to give him the biggest headache is Tyler Cuxhouse. He's got two at Wilmot, 2 10th place, finishes 1 8th, 1 3rd, and 2 back-to-back second places. I know he's been trialing some stuff on his car. So I don't know if they figured it out or if they just went back to what they know in the last probably month or so. But his car's been coming on faster and faster. He's qualifying better. And he has speed all night. I feel like before he had no speed in the beginning of the night and was digging himself out. So, yeah. All right. Well, that was good. We got some mileage out of that. Thanks, Adam, for making it hard by being so good.
Full disclaimer on my part. I left Eric Wilkie out of my ones that could beat him because he already did. So that's
gotcha.
That was kind of the given for me.
So twice, actually twice, if you think about it,
Yeah.
like the Angel Park one, and then this last one,
Yep.
like sitting there, see, and that it feels so bad when you're leading because like they don't know what other lines are coming and going. They're just doing what they're doing, and Adam found the top in both, and then he was kind of almost cheating the entry to a 3, and he was like gaining on Wilkie, and then the yellow came out, and I'm like, Adam's got another one, but I don't know what Eric found, but after the restart, he drove away from Taylor, and then kind of just maintained it from there.
Well, I think it helped that Adam jumped the cushion. He fell back to 6th. I think
that sounds familiar.
Helped.
Remember that moment? Wow. So it was foreshadowing, Nathan. So yeah, I saw Nate today at work, which we'll talk about that whole thing when we get to driver of the night. But yeah, okay. So we got our picks. Comment below wherever you're listening to of who you think can dethrone Adam Taylor traveling, but especially at Wilmot, because yeah, he is putting a whooping. All right, we're going to take a quick ad break, and on the other side, we are getting into the bans of drivers for fighting. So yeah, that'll be fun. What up, Crane Gang? Just wanted to tell you a little bit about our partner, DirtX Industries. So we've teamed up with DirtX Industries for the upcoming season, and we can't wait to run their products. The best part is that all my loyal fans and followers can help our team by visiting www.dirtxind.us and subscribe, also giving you a chance to win great prizes as well, receiving discounts on parts and merchandise for only $5 or $10 a month, depending on which subscription you get. There are thousands of dollars in prizes monthly that anyone can win. So help our team and subscribe today. By the way, when you subscribe, type DCR in the coupon box, and this will assist our team and increase sponsorship throughout the year. So any help is greatly appreciated. The more subscriptions we get can generate help for our team up and down the road on a weekly basis. Anyone can subscribe with no limit on subscriptions, and they are starting the US subscriptions here in June. So right now is the best time to subscribe to DirtX Industries. Now back to the show. All right, welcome back to the Bench Racing Podcast. Now it is time for the main event here. I had no idea this was going on. Really, I found out Monday at work, or no, Tuesday at work actually, with that whole issue between Ellie Hensley. I forgot there's two of them, so we gotta decipher. Ellie Hensley and Greg Olson. And then when I was starting to make the show notes on earlier on Monday, I saw that Egan was DQ'd, and I was going to ask you guys, what was it, like too light? And then at the track, I found out that he was banned for the altercation and fighting with his brother-in-law, Greg Alt. So two very same outcomes, but very different backgrounds. So we're going to kind of get into this, and yeah, I know this is a touchy subject, but like I'll open it up with this, and then we'll kind of go from there. Should we see gender, age, race, relationship on the track? Like racing someone, should we see those things? Because to me, if I race Nathan differently than if I were to race you, Michael, I'm going to get tight at center, and I'm just going to plow up the track because I'm like, just keep it off him, keep it off him.
Mm-hmm.
But if I drive him like I drive Tyler or Zach or Jimmy Sivia, we're fine. We'll never get into each other.
Okay, so that clarifies it a little bit better for me. I was having a tough time digesting which route we were going with that.
Okay.
When it comes to on the track racing, no, absolutely not. You're all drivers. You're all there for the same reason. When you sign the paperwork to walk in the pits every night and you put a helmet on, you're all equals.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to post race interactions, yes, you have to be like you can't walk into somebody's pit stall that says, I'm going to try to use it so I'm not describing the people involved. Like you, Derek, couldn't walk up to 15-year-old Jack Andrews, just random names here, and tell him he's a pile and punch him, because you're going to get a charge. I mean, that's assault of a minor.
Yeah.
Like, you can't walk into somebody's pit stall who's over the age of 62 and beat the hell out of them, because, well, that's a felony. You know, it's like on the track, yes, you're all equals. In the pits afterwards, you have to be mindful of who you're talking to, what you're talking about, and what you're doing. Because whether you like it or not, at the racetrack, you're all still the human that you are before you walk in there. Well, you know, I don't care if you're 12 or if you're 59. Like, before walking the track, you were 12 and you were 59. At the track, you're 12 and you're 59. Just because you're at the racetrack on private property, you're not forbidden from laws and rules and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, just because you signed your quote rights away
right
at the registration doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want. I mean, it's still illegal to drink and drive, right? Can't have a beer before you jump in the car.
Yep.
Yeah. Autumn.
So I'm gonna say I agree, but that goes both ways.
100%.
If I'm gonna walk into somebody's pit stall swinging my tatas, I have to expect that something's gonna come back. If I'm gonna run my mouth to a male driver, I would expect that the male driver should be able to run his mouth back at me. If I'm gonna start it and step in it, I have to be able to take it.
Yeah.
That being said, I do want to point out that how you carry yourself on and off the track is a huge part of showing others who you are on the inside. Derek and I talk a lot about branding. There's things that you'd love to run your mouth about on Facebook, but that's not going to forward your brand, and that's not what your sponsors and your partnerships are paying for. And in the end, your racing is a business.
Yep. And then also too, just because you don't think people are watching, people are watching.
Oh yeah.
And those people could be 14, 12 years old in the stands, I talk about Bowman Gray a lot, and I like how they allow the fighting, but when it gets to the fighting with race cars, one, way too much money. Two, you're destroying for no reason. You're just having a temper tantrum. But, you got kids in the stands watching, and some drivers have a pull that naturally people cheer for, and then they see you do something like that, and it's just not good. Not saying that it's not forgivable. It's not unforgivable, because, I mean, you can come back from it, but it's a lot harder to come back from stuff like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, what Autumn said was kind of a good segue into how, she brought up, and then you touched on it, that even when you think people aren't watching, people are watching. Before all of everything happened Saturday night, before the Egan and Alt deal, and then before the Ellie and Greg Olson deal happened, we were standing on the trailer watching the heat races. And I'm going to try to keep this as timid as possible. But in CJ's heat race, CJ was making a move to the outside of Dan Wade. Dan Wade got tight. He pushed through the center. CJ caught his right rear. And had he not really been alert of what was going on, he was probably going to go for a big ride. We look down to the left and we see another
Team members?
driver that was in the previous heat race, and his crew members standing on the roof of their truck, and they are cheering and making motions with their hands. They're clapping, they're making motions with their hands, as if they were cheering that CJ almost flipped. That I'm not okay with that. I don't care if it's your worst enemy. I don't care if you are battling them for a championship. I don't care if you just
It can be done clean.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and Wade had no idea. You know, Wade was just running his line, and
got tight.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
tight, and CJ got on the binders. He like caught his right rear a little bit. It's offset
It's
the car,
going to happen
and they moved on.
innocently.
Yeah.
But then you look down and you see somebody cheering for it.
Not
And
cool.
the part that really bothers us about it is, and I don't want to sound like I'm too.
I think I know the driver you're talking about too. I think I know who he is.
I hinted at it by saying prior to all the other stuff happening.
Yeah.
But the part that really burns us about something like that, and I'm not trying to toot our own horn, and honestly, I'd be tooting yours too, because you, Derek, you and your crew you're the same way. You're very polite. You're respectful. Like you're a very respectable team at the track. But our team, we and CJ, we've done nothing to nobody. We tell CJ that, hey, maybe it's time to be more aggressive. You know, we get bullied around and we let it go and we find a way to pass them clean. We don't. We have not confronted anybody. We don't get on Facebook and trash the track. We don't trash other drivers. We don't trash crew members. Nothing. So to see somebody cheering for the fact that, you know, our multiple tens of thousands of dollars investment just almost got destroyed, that lights a huge fire under your ass. And so we came out of the night, and the points come out, and we see that we had taken the points lead, and we're like, the throttle down, like it's relentless from here on out. Like we are doing everything we can to win every damn race for the rest of this year, because you just pissed us off bad.
Yep.
And it takes a lot to get CJ fired up, and he was angry about it at the end of the night. Like we didn't tell him before the end of racing, because we don't want, CJ is a superstitious person, so we didn't want to put something in his head, then that's another thing on his brain while he's racing. But we talked about it at the end of the night in the trailer while we were having a beer and debriefing, and I mean he got worked up about it. He wanted to say something, and honestly, shout out to CJ's mom, Michelle, because she ultimately calmed him down. I was like, listen, it's not worth it, because at the end of the day, it's not, because he would have walked down to that person's trailer to say something, and then we'd be in the same boat as the rest of
the other
these
two
people.
drivers. Yeah.
So
real quickly, two things that Michael touched on I want to bring up real quick. If you're a fan and you're listening to this, we know you come for the crashes, and that's not what we're talking about.
Yes.
like we understand that that's what you're there. Like most people come to see the crashes. We get that. But it's like, once you know all the work, like you destroy a car, that significant other, they're not going to see them for the next 4 days at least, because they got to run stuff here, they got to run stuff there, they got to go pick stuff up, they got to do all these late night shop nights, right? So it's and all the money and time and all that stuff. And then the other thing too is that on a lighter note, that CJ took the points lead. Could you imagine what the points lead would be if he actually had good inverts? The first topic would be, can anyone beat CJ Malik?
Yeah,
but
it's a pipe dream, it's something you lay in bed, you think about, but
So all right, so I was not there Saturday, obviously, but basically what I've heard through the grapevine was there was something that happened. well, I mean, if you look at the status, really whose fault it is. This is Ian Steer's fault. Like he half spun. If he didn't half spin, none of this would have been happening. So thanks, Ian. Sarcasm.
Go
For those
on.
Well, so
just go ahead.
I mean, all right. So
That's where it all started.
yeah.
I was there. Obviously, I watched it happen, and there are videos to back it up. So I'll brief everybody a little bit.
Yes,
on,
enlighten us, please.
in my eyes, what I saw and what the video shows. So when it all started, Ion went to the top. Granted, he bobbled on the cushion, but Greg was throwing a haymaker at him when this all started. This started in turns 1 and 2. Greg
Okay.
was throwing a haymaker at him, and honestly, if even with Ion Bobby on the cushion, if he didn't see it coming at the last second and get on the brakes, Ion was going for yet another ride. I mean, Greg was committed to getting to the cushion, and he didn't care who, what, anything that was in front of him, next to him, behind him, anything. So they make contact. They make wheel contact. Ion's able to get crossed underneath him. Goes into 3. Looked like he was going to attempt to slide him back. Went through the slick. Greg's crossing back underneath him. And Ion half spins, gets tagged, goes around. At this point, Ellie has nothing to do with this whatsoever, except she was just battling with them. She never made contact with Greg. She never made contact with Ion. Nothing.
And all the rumors that, or all the pipelines that I've heard this from is exactly Ellie had nothing to do with it.
Nothing. And then all of a sudden you look over and Greg is throwing his car at Ellie in turn 1 in the middle of 1 and 2, and Ellie is spun around. And everybody, like, the stands erupted, like, because everybody was probably just as confused as Ellie and the rest of the people who were like truly watching were. So they get Ellie fired back off, and they tell her that she's in front of the 9. So she goes up there, and like, this is clear as day on video. And anybody who wants to tell me I'm wrong, I have the video on my phone. She pulls up, doesn't make any motions, swerves, nothing towards Greg, fills in line, and Greg dives underneath her. And at this time, Ion's getting ready to get pushed off at the top of turn 4. Greg pulls up next to Ellie and starts squeezing her into the push truck, as if like it was either Ellie hit the brakes or she stomped on the gas, and if she didn't, she was getting pushed into the push truck. So she gets on the gas, gets back in front of Greg. Greg runs into the back of her, jumps underneath her, flies up in front of her. Ellie runs in the back of him. And now at this point, and obviously I'm not wearing a receiver, but at this point I was told that they're screaming on the receiver, 9, 7L is in front of you. 7L, get in front of 9. They fire off green. We're standing on top of the trailer. We're on pins and needles because we're like, well, Greg's about to throw a haymaker at Ellie, and Ellie's going to go for the ride of her life.
This could take out the whole field.
Exactly. All 6 of them that were behind them. Sorry. Anyways, so the race finishes, whatever, and we go down to get to scales and to tech and whatever, and Ellie pulls in, and she's furious. Like, she is
I would
angry.
be too. I kind of am on her behalf.
Yeah, like, if I'm in that situation, I know that I did nothing wrong and my car is getting destroyed, I'm getting out of the car hot too. And she fired off some words that aren't probably podcast friendly. And
I heard some of them.
Before Greg was even out of the car, and Ellie's father was trying to calm her down while this was all happening, and Raymond finally gets Ellie to back up, and Greg gets out of the car, and Greg starts spewing at the mouth, and he said a choice word about Ellie that lit Raymond off, and Raymond went in there, and getting in Greg's face, screaming and yelling, and at that point, it's just a matter of control the situation. It's get everybody calm, because at this point we're the last feature. The fans are standing at the gate watching this happen, and we are 30 seconds away from the security saying, "Yep, you guys are good to start walking." And the minute those fans enter the situation, you don't know what could happen. There's guys holding tools. You're standing in the tech area. There's guys holding tools. There's screwdrivers, which obviously are a penetrating object. There's wheel wrenches. There's jacks. There's anything that could get thrown that could cause bodily damage is there. So shout out to Wilmot staff and security. They diffused the situation. And at this point, like, we're off to the side, kind of like watching, seeing if anything else is going to happen. You know, you're kind of like, you know, flies on shit at this time. You know, you're kind of like watching, like, okay, what's next? And then they tell us we're good to go. Pull down the trailer, and from what we thought, everything was good. Little did we know that there was another altercation later, and I'm unable to speak to this one because I didn't witness it, and there's no video to back it up. But
this is the non-wing.
No, this is still the
this
Ellie.
is still that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is so. Then Ellie entered Greg's pit stall, and they started arguing. And I'm not going to quote anything that was allegedly said because I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, and I'm not going to, you know, go off hearsay on this. Ultimately, the racetrack decided that there was stuff said by Greg that was warrantable for a suspension, and he got suspended. If it's true that what he said was said, which, I mean, obviously it is true because he posted on Facebook. He
posted what he said.
Yeah, he said straight up what he said. So obviously we know that it's true what he said. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not comfortable.
Me either.
But I think it was a very much deserved suspension. I think where Wilmot went wrong with the situation is they didn't suspend Ellie for entering his pit stall. It's clear.
I won't argue with that.
Yeah, it's clear as day in the rule book. If you enter another crew driver's pit stall, then you're getting suspended. And I think it got taken as, well, Greg said these things to her, and they kind of like let her off the hook for it. And you know, I have nothing against Ellie and the Hensleys. I enjoy that Ellie is in our class and that Tate, you know, tears it up in the wingless cars. But I do think that Ellie should have been suspended in the situation too. And you saw plain as day with the other altercation I had between Egan and Alt. Egan Rusty he went and sat on Greg's trailer door, waited. Was he going to do something? Who knows? But he went and sat on his trailer door. There's nobody even in his stall at the time, and he got suspended.
I don't know. I don't know if I would feel threatened if I took someone out and then I drove back to my trailer and he was in my trailer. I don't think I'd feel threatened at all. Again, more sarcasm. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, basically, so from what I witnessed, what I've gathered in my own personal thought is there's two new guys at the track that are at the top of my ultimate badass list, and it's Rusty Egan and Raymond Hensley, because when words were said about Raymond's daughter, he flew into a group of 6 people on one pit crew, and he was ready to take on all of them at once. And Rusty Egan was ready to take on Greg Alt's entire pit crew on his own. While one of them was holding a wheel wrench and the other was holding a screwdriver or something. Like, they're on the list not to screw with for me.
Yep. I write that one down in my book that I'm writing. Not to truffle with. All right. Do you think payback is coming at all?
For which one? For both? Or for
both, either one.
Well, if what Greg posts on Facebook that he's quote retiring from sprint car racing is true, then obviously there's not payback coming on that behalf, because if you retire, then you don't race.
It's like he's reading my notes over here.
On the Egan Alt side, I don't think so.
I can't see that happening either.
I think they probably talked about it on Sunday. You know, at some point you got to realize that family's bigger than racing, and if you build a family grudge because of racing, then you got bigger things to worry about than getting back to the track and racing again. You need to you need to straighten out your family issues before your racing issues. So I would hope that there's not payback coming, especially because using race cars as weapons is not cool. Like, not cool at all. But
Because
I do want to say one thing. I almost got my wish. Egan was walking across the track to Alt's car, and I was like, yes, 1-on-1 on the front stretch for the fans.
Let's
and
go.
then Ryan Marshall, who is probably number 2 on the list of guys that I would not screw with at Wilmot, stopped Egan halfway through 3 and 4. And Ryan was actually walking through the pits after, and I stopped him. I was like, hey, Ryan, you know, it would have been a lot cooler if you just let him keep walking, right? He's like, yeah, but I wear this headset thing now. I can't do that.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
sorry,
not functioning. I can't hear anything. It's broken.
Sorry. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna give Autumn this question. I know she's gonna kind of probably give it right back to us, but do you think that it was more like Olsen's reaction to everything was more based on the emotion of seeing CJ running up front and he's mid to back and he knows he's a points leader, and it's at that point just kind of maybe lost his sense of
what? Like he was 3 years old and told no he couldn't have a bag of M&Ms at the grocery store. He had to throw himself on the floor and have a fit.
Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Come
like that.
There is a way to conduct yourself. I'm sorry, you're not getting your participation trophy. Come on, people.
Not saying that he did. I'm just like, is this could be one?
If that's what it was, it's really sad. It's really sad. Now, again, I don't know Greg. Do I know his name? Sure. Have I watched him race? Sure. Did I get a little irritated that he beat you more than once earlier this year in the 9X? Absolutely. However, like
expert.
I mean,
no.
I mean, I don't know him, but if that's what it was, that's really sad. And I can understand your emotions are peaked. You got the rush, you got the adrenaline, you've got the drive, you want to win. But come on, driving somebody else into the back of the pace truck. Not cool. That's that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's a new one.
I don't know though. I don't know if that was his intentions, but that's what was happening. Like,
if that wasn't his intentions, he probably should have opened his peepers. My left one doesn't work, and I'd have been able to see that. Criminy.
All right, and I'll give this question to Michael here. As a driver, for both situations, what would be the best thing to do after that kind of contact, racing deal, whatever? How would you deal with that, Michael?
I'm okay with take away the part with almost getting run into the push truck. I'm okay with what happened on the track. I'm okay with, the caution, jockeying for position. You want to run into somebody's rear bumper, fine. I'm okay with that. My problem lies when you start using the car as a weapon. When you make a move that could potentially hurt somebody, that's where I draw the line. As for how would I handle it, probably the same way that they did for the most part. Go up, show your displeasure. If you want to give them the middle finger salute, go for it. A little bump in the bumper, it is what it is. Contrary to popular belief, I'm a bigger guy, and people might like to think that I like to tussle. I really don't. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I avoid conflict as much as I can.
Okay.
So like when it gets back to the pits, I probably would have just walked away, honestly. And I can't speak because I haven't been in that situation in a long time. Everybody handles frustration differently, and to kind of touch some more on your question that you asked, Autumn.
Mhm.
I've been in a situation where, you know, you're battling a guy for the lead in the points, and, you know, you watch him drive around you and then drive around the car in front of you, then drive around the car in front of that. And you're just watching, you're watching points drive away. Every time that car passes another car, once you get inside the top 4, that's another 4 points you're losing. So like,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's very well possible that could have played a factor in it. But you have to find that level head at some point and tell yourself just not to do something asinine, because
Yeah.
look what happened. You came out of that night 11th, and you came out of that night 11 points out of the lead, and another race in 2 nights with a chance to get those 11 points back.
Yeah.
And
Now you're
then
retired.
yeah, that
Yeah,
now you're retired. Like,
No.
He better not show up in a sprint car.
Well,
Prove
if
himself to
he
not
if
be a
he
man
if
of his
he
word.
yeah,
If he proves himself to be all bark and no bite per se,
most people that say that they're retiring will just say that they're retiring. They won't make a big deal out of it. I'm sorry, but yeah, instead of being 11 points behind CJ Malik, and really the only one that could actually give Malik a run for his money in points, he's 146 points out in 7th place.
right.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess the way I would, if I was Ellie, I would probably wait until after tech at least before I
Yeah.
start chirping. Like, I just get back to the pits. There might be a camera angle that you didn't see. And it's like, oh, wow, all right. I'm kind of glad I didn't say anything because he
Mhm.
was trying to avoid something else or got into me. If I
Branding.
was, yeah, branding. And then maybe an hour after, kind of like after everything kind of settles down, go over there and just be like, we'll talk next week, but like, I'm just like, that was stupid, right? So that's how that. But if I was Olsen, I mean,
Time and place.
it's just so hard. But like what Michael said, and I'll just touch on this to wrap this whole segment up. There has been a problem, I feel like, with the officials not doing anything
Mhm.
when there's situations like this comes up. But I'm really glad they are doing something now. It just sucks for the people involved, and the only way that this won't hurt later is if they keep this up.
consistency.
100%. Egan and Alt, 10 out of 10. The way that they dealt with that, because you can't ban the guy for throwing a slider that he didn't clear, and then for that guy to sit in your trailer. Like, you won't have really good hard racing then, because people will be like, I'm not going to pass because I don't want to get banned.
Right.
So that one, I feel a 10 out of 10. The Hensley Olsen, I would be 6 out of 10, more the middle. It would be a 10 out of 10 if they did it to Hensley as well.
Mhm.
But
I would say one side of the Olsen Hensley one was a 10 out of 10 handled, and the other side was 0 out of 10.
There you go. Yep. Yep.
It,
You know,
that wasn't consistent and it wasn't fair.
Yeah, especially when you suspended another driver the same night for doing what she did. That's you know, I just want to end my little rant about all this as I'm impartial to the situation. I don't have any more of a like or a hatred towards either driver. I was, you know, to me, they were just both good, fierce competitors. So I don't want anybody listening to think that I'm taking sides and, you know, trying to say Greg's an asshole and Ellie's an angel, because that's not what I'm trying to say at all. I think both should have been suspended. They both were in the wrong. And, you know, for the sake of good competition, I hope that Greg doesn't follow through with his Facebook post. I hope he comes back, because he does bring, I'm not going to say a breath of fresh air, but he brings a breath of needed air to the class. You know, Greg's kind of grew that reputation of being the bad boy of
The
Wing
wingless.
604 class.
Yep.
And the wingless when he was racing them.
Yep.
He kind of grew that reputation. I think he wears that persona very well on himself. He walks through the pits. He's got that mean mug look to him. He won't talk to you unless he doesn't speak unless spoken to. And I think you need that in every class.
Yep. And there's going to be fans that are drawn to that, and then there's going to be fans that are like, I can't stand that, and that's what you need for rivalries. Like, if every driver was CJ Malik, I'm sorry, but it wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah, if you had 15 drivers that came off the track smiling, walked in the trailer smiling, walked out of the trailer smiling, would talk to anybody, shake anybody's hand, hug anybody, like.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like at that point, I feel like we're just watching tennis.
Yeah.
For real, I'm just picturing the guys as they're driving around the track, like, oh, I'm gonna sneak past you right here, right now, okay? Excuse me, pardon me.
And that's exactly how CJ is. CJ, like, he'll get behind you, he'll watch you for a lap, and he'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna make this move right here, and I'm gonna slide up in front of you, and give you a nice little parade wave out the car, and I'm gonna keep on going. And then you got Greg, who he's kind of the bully. You got Beauty and the Beast, and seeing them atop the point standings, knowing that you have two very different people that were gonna hash it out the rest of the season it was gonna be a lot of fun. It's a shame that what happened, and we don't get that now. But I mean,
Michael gets to breathe a little bit easier now every race day, working on CJ's car. So
I live by one quote, and it was from a Fast and Furious movie that I saw when I was very young, and the Asian guy in the movie at one point goes, "Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back."
Yep.
So
there you go. And CJ's keeping it real simple with 69-point gap. And for the people at home that need, or what does a driver have to do to beat Malik? They just have to get only 13 points a night to tie him at the end of the year. So I don't know. That sounds like his lucky number. I don't think that's going to happen. But here's for trying. All right, we're going to take another ad break here. And on the other side, we're going to be talking driver of the night, reviewing our bets. When the shop nights get long after a great result, or even a tough night at the track, or even like right now during this episode, nothing hits the spot like a cold Sprecher root beer. But it doesn't stop there. Sprecker's lineup goes way beyond the classic. My personal favorites are the Door County Cherry Soda and the Honeycrisp Apple Soda. And there's still more amazing flavors I haven't even tried yet. Sprecker's Root Beer has been crafting award-winning soda and beer since 1985, right here in Glendale, Wisconsin. Stop in for a brewery tour, sample the goods, experience the local flavors. And don't forget, November 17th, we're back in the Sprecher Tap Room for our second annual Benchies Award Night. It's a perfect excuse to check them out. Now that this ad is wrapping up, I have cracked open another Sprecher soda, and I'm ready to talk more racing with you. All right, welcome back to the Bench Racing Podcast. Now we are talking driver of the nights. Now, of course, we had Saturday night and Tuesday night. So we'll start off with Michael, who is your driver of the night on Saturday.
Okay, so I had two for Saturday, but I left one out because I know Derek wants to say him. So
oh no, you can say them.
No, I'm leaving that one for you. I want
not.
you. Well, Derek, you better go before autumn. I want Derek to get that brotherly love there.
Okay.
I'm going to give my driver of the night to Jimmy Scanlon. That dude did not drive a race car for over 5 years, and he went +9 in the feature on a track that was not easy to drive.
Yeah. I saw the 5 car, and I was like, "Oh, BK, that's not BK, it's Scanlon."
Yeah.
I see +9. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I missed a good night."
Honestly, a hilarious story. So while all this drama in tech is happening on Saturday, CJ's sitting in the car and he's behind BK's car. Well, he's like tail tank still sitting over the scale pads. Like that's how backed up it is because like there's just shit going on everywhere. So CJ, being the little jokester, he yells, he goes, BK, get that damn thing out of my way. And then and BK's crew like turns around, they're like looking, and they like have this puzzled look on their face, and we like lean there like, CJ, that's not BK in the car. He goes, what? he had no idea that he wasn't racing BK all night. But
that's such a CJ thing to do too. Wait, you weren't driving the car all night? No.
So then to build on that, so we're like right behind them because we kind of pushed forward so that the fans could get through. And Eric, which is one of BK's crew guys, has BK on FaceTiming, and Jimmy's sitting in the car, and he sticks the phone in the car, and BK's on the phone. He's like, "Yes, sir! Yes, sir!" He's like going crazy. He thought it was really cool to see.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. Jimmy Scanlon, nice. Okay, all right. Beth, on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Nathan.
My name is not Beth.
Bazinga.
You did it again.
I'm keeping this one in though.
Go ahead.
Autumn. I'm writing because Beth never responded to me with her driver of the night, so I'm just writing Autumn's in Beth's spot. So that's why I looked at. All right, let's say it together.
Okay.
You, on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nathan Crane.
The shirtless wonder.
The one, the only, the pink mantis wearing Nathan Crane.
Yes. Obviously picking up his third career win ever in his racing career. First winged. Really excited to see that. He was a little bummed about starting on the knob, but I mean, when you go almost 5 years since your last feature win, you'll take it at anyway.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
I don't care if 3 cars finish. A dub's a dub.
Yeah. So he told me
same thing. W is a W.
So he called me at like 12:30, obviously Sunday morning now.
Probably still wearing his fire suit.
Probably. I heard people in the background. And I was like, "Attaboy, Luther." And he goes, "Dude," he's like, "the freaking yellow flags, man." And he's like, "Every time I see a 13th and 5th, and then 4th, and then 3rd, and then 2nd." I'm like, And he's like, "I would have rather had BK or Greg Olson, someone who I knew would muscle me out of the way. So if I saw something, I could just be super aggressive." But then he's like, "But it's CJ. He will mentally mess me up to beat me." He'll just be sitting there like, "Oh, let me do this to the wing. Let me drive a little bit here. Okay, pack my line down," and he'll beat me that way. So he's like, "I would have rather had someone bully me out of the way than CJ." So yeah. All right. Now, driver of the night on Tuesday. We're going to start with Autumn because I have Autumn up here now. So Autumn.
From Tuesday? Man. It's a tough one for me.
That's pretty easy.
I mean, I guess I'm going to have to go with Wilkie.
Eric Wilkie.
He's my Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He had a heck of a night. He really had a great night.
Yes. Michael, your driver of the night for Tuesday.
5 alive, keeping the family, BK.
BK. Yes. Was that his first win, first feature?
No.
Points?
So he won one of the exhibition races in 2023.
Okay.
And he won the Fall Classic last year. He won when the money counted.
Yeah. Was there money on the line?
Yeah,
there's any. First Tuesday.
Oh,
yeah. Was there?
No, that was his first normal paying feature win.
Oh, okay. Nothing special. All right.
Yeah. Shout out to him. He was walking past us. We loaded up. We got out there pretty quickly on Tuesday. We all had to work the next day, but we did get to talk to him briefly when he was walking past, and he stopped and we're like, "Hell yeah, BK, nice job." He's like, "What? This is easy when you start on the front row." And we started laughing. He's like, He's like, I ain't got that young CJ speed where I can just drive past everybody.
Oh man, or that CJ bad luck either.
Yeah.
So we start in 8th. Oh man. All right, my driver of the night for Tuesday is Eric Wilkie again. Based off of our first topic, was able to drive away from Adam Taylor. And funny enough, the car that looked like it was going to win the feature in the wingless and the 604 winged caught the leader, was about to pass, yellow come out, and both the drivers in second in both classes nail the cushion and fall back to the same spot, 6th. That was Adam Taylor and Nathan Crane, which Nathan he looked like the car to beat on Tuesday, but unfortunately jumped the cushion on the restart and pushed the right side Nerf bar into the right rear tire, and it was kind of cocked underneath the chassis too, so it wasn't rolling as well, and that's why he fell back. So
I want to say Nathan made one critical mistake in that race, which I think ultimately lost to him, and he showed BK that the outside was faster in that caution. He pulled up next to him, and BK, when we talked to him, he goes, man, somebody's got to teach Nathan. You don't pull up next to the leader and show him which line's faster under caution. He said, I came out of turn 2, I jumped to the lead, I took his air away, or I jumped to the top, I took his air away, and it was over.
Yep. That's what it was. I was like, so the two things is Nathan's, that's what I thought too, that caution we pull up next to, and then the other thing was he chases the cars into the corner like they're non-wing cars. So he's getting aero tight. So Vanderveer told him, and I was like, yeah, like watch CJ and BK and Ellie. Even though the bottom might be a half second slower a lap, they're not going to chase the car right in front of them on their line. Like they'll peel off to the bottom. They rather lose a half second than, at best case scenario, stay how far back they are, or if they gain, they're going to get tight. And yeah, so he's
Drafting
like, yeah,
bad with wing sprints.
Yes, bad. Yes. But he's like, I got that one down. That will never happen again. So, all right, reviewing our bets, and it was, of course, the Wing 604s. I had Jordan Paulson. Michael had CJ Malig, and Beth had Nathan Crane. And for a little bit there, it looked like Beth was going to catch up to us, but instead, Michael gets third place. So he wins the bet, and he is now tied with me 3-3. So that's going to be fun. No Wilmot racing this coming weekend. So we're going to be doing our bets for the wingless next week, but we are going to allow Autumn to pick her bet. And I'm just going to say double down. Both nights are wingless for the bet.
Yep. I'm going to stick with Wilkie. I
think
he's got some momentum, and I want to keep seeing him run the track as hard as he has.
Okay. All right, and are you going to go double down for double the points if he does it? Beats
Absolutely.
it both nights? Oh, all in on Autumn. All righty. All right, so again, we'll have Beth on next week's episode, so we'll do ours then. And Wilkie's a really good shout. Really good shout. Okay. Wow, that's everything. Okay, now the game, which I was going to break out a new game. But then Beth can't make it because she's getting Tom. They had to pull the motor. They're trying to make it to the Bill Gardner Sprintacular at Putnamville, Lincoln Park, which is an amazing non-wing sprint car show, 410s. If you ever have a chance to go to like a local-ish, it's not really local because a bunch of local guys show up, but a bunch of regional and national guys show up as well. It is a amazing race. So that's why she's not here tonight. But Autumn said earlier, if it was a game about dogs, she feels like she would have a pretty good shot. Well, there's a hot in front of the word dog because we have the game is back and forth. The 2025 Wilmot Heat Race winners, sprint cars only. So we are talking wingless, 604 winged, and lightning sprints. And there's 25 answers. I was going to do the whole field, but then all the classes. But then when I was just done with those three, I was like 25. I'm like, oh, that's way too much. So Autumn, got it right this time. Autumn and Michael will We'll be going back and forth trying to get the all 25 answers. Both I will give a strike to, but after they get the second answer wrong, the other person wins. And then just for fun, we see if the winner can run the board or run the list, I should say. All right. We'll start with Autumn. So Autumn, drivers who have won a heat race at Wilmot in 2025, sprint cars only, better not have your phone.
Michael's just gonna run away with this. I'm telling you.
I mean, we've said a lot of names tonight.
Yeah. The question is, were they heat race winners?
Oh,
All right. I'm Wilkie. No clue. This is awful. Like, I pay attention to features much closer than I pay attention to heat race.
Michael, you want to tell her?
That's wrong.
All right, straight for Autumn. All right, Michael.
CJ Malik.
CJ Malik is a correct answer. He has 2 heat race wins. Back to Autumn. I'll give you a hint. I'll give her a hint for if you can give me card numbers too, like or a color of a car. I will give you
color of
I know drivers are kind of. I'll ask you more questions about the
one
car.
with black on it.
Yeah, the one with the mud covers.
I would be the one that would say something that he would really understand. Like, this is not my answer, but I would say peas and carrots.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking.
And then
about.
he would know exactly who I was
That
talking
car's definitely never won a heat race. I knew what you were talking about.
Yep.
No, definitely not one a heat race. That one I can tell you didn't.
All right, Autumn. You've had time to kill.
Oh crap.
One was our? I'll give you another hint. One was our first topic.
One was our first topic. Listen, I've blinked twice since then. It's right out of my brain.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with Adam Taylor.
Adam Taylor is correct. He's got 2. Michael.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson is correct. He's got 1. Back to you, Autumn.
I don't know why this name is in my brain. Heinert.
Mark Heinert is a wrong answer.
Well,
Yeah,
there you go.
wrong
See,
answer.
All of a sudden, I told you Michael would win.
Boom.
Run the board,
Michael.
man. Run the board.
All right. Let's see if Michael can run the board.
All right. Ion Steer. Is this the last 2 nights included?
Yep.
Okay.
I literally made it as I was setting everything up because I was trying
Okay.
to remake a game for. Maybe we should have played plus and minus. Okay. Yep. Iron Steer has 1.
But
Allie
I'm just
Hensley.
here to boost Michael's ego so that he knows he can win no problem.
Beth's not here, so I can't pick on her, but it probably would have been the same outcome.
I mean, do you want me to talk crap? Like, oh man, you're going down, Michael. You're never gonna win. I'm gonna take this one.
Which Hensley?
Ellie.
Yep. She's got 1.
Jordan Paulson.
Paulson has 1.
Brian Strain Jr.,
Yep, he has 1.
which means Beth automatically won our predictions on that now because he won one the night after the next race night after we said that he hadn't won one yet. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Tucker Richards.
Yep, he's got a heat race win.
Nick Petska.
No heat race win for Nick Petska.
Really? All right, so that's my 1 strike.
Yeah, that's your 1 strike. Let's see if you can do it.
Okay. Chris Klemko.
Where is he? Yep, Chris Klemko. He has 2 heat race wins.
Zach Radart.
Zachy Poo does not have a heat race win.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Let me. Now, you're making me second guess. You might have it traveling, but not at Wilmot. Let's see. Full schedule. Nope. Second, fourth, third, sixth, second, fourth.
Darn.
Yeah. All right. So Michael won. Got a couple extra, but on the top of the list, I'm a little surprised because of, I'll say, the lack of speed in the feature. But it's Alan Hafford has 3 heat race wins.
He was the next one I was gonna say. Him then BK.
Tyler, so he's the only one with 3 drivers with 2 that are left, and I am so stupid because now I see Mark Heiner.
Really? I pulled a name out of my keister.
Yes. Okay. All right.
To me?
I'm gonna rig this. We're gonna do a green white checker. All right. So, Beth. All right, Mark or Beth.
It's still Autumn.
Yeah, it's Mark Heiner. You got that right. Okay. All right.
That's it.
Sudden death. So Michael.
Tomato slices and Parmesan cheese in the next dinner I bring you.
And it will be in the trash. Michael, you said
BK.
BK. Yep, BK's got 2. All right.
Well, don't ask me now. He took all the good ones.
Okay. All right. So it didn't change anything. All right. I just feel bad because I swear he only had 1, but he's got 2. So the only one left that has 2 is Tyler Cuxhouse. The ones that have 1: Johnny Fault, Sean Swim, Ryan Zelski, Tim Cox, Bryce Andrews, Tate Hensley. This nobody, Derek Crane, and his shitless wonder brother Nathan Crane, shirtless wonder Nathan Crane, Chad Stouthammer, Derek Fortier, and Tim Branham. Boom. So that was the game. It probably resembled the pits after the Wing 604, really. I think. But that was a lot of fun. So usually when I make the games, they're like 3-4 weeks out, so like I have time to like slightly memorize some of this stuff, and making it 5-10 minutes before we hit record, it feels like I was just writing stuff down, so I didn't have time to visually remember where stuff is. So
Excuse.
All right. Hey, I'm a race car driver. We're full of them. All right. So oh yeah, and no, I'll do it. I was like, I forgot to do the results. Should just throw it in there, give everyone some love. All right, Nick Petska on Saturday got fast time in the Lightning Sprints heat race. Wait, CJ ran the Lightning Sprint on Saturday?
No.
It says CJ Malik. Or no, it's Wing 604s.
Oh, there you go.
They're not at the bottom. Nick Pet, man, I'm all over the place. This happens when I don't have coffee, right? But between work and recording. So CJ Malik won the heat race. Greg Olson won his heat race. And then top 5 in the Wing 604s on Saturday was Nathan Crane, CJ Malik, Ellie Hensley, Jimmy Scanlon, and Greg Olson. In the street stocks, your heat race runners were the Olson twins, Rob and Robbie. And the top 5 were Brandon Murtis, James Jamie, Rob Olson, Mark Baker, and Josh Gehrig. Qualifying for the Wisconsin Wingless Your Fast Time was Tim Cox. Your heat race winners were Tyler Cuxhouse, Adam Taylor, and Alan Hafford. Non-wing feature top 5 was Adam Taylor, Tyler Cuxhouse, Seth Johnson, Tim Cox, and Miles Dougherty. Maybe if I did the results before the game, it would have helped Autumn. I'm just sabotaging, I guess. And then in the Lightning Sprints, Nick Petska was your fast time. Okay, I wasn't going crazy. That actually did happen in the Lightning Sprint. Mark Heiner won his heat race. Mike New won his heat race. And the top 5 was Brian Strain Jr., Chad Stouthammer, Jordan Funderburk, Tucker Richards, and Nick Petska. And then on Tuesday, your fast time in the Wing 604s was Ethan Steer. First time he set fast time, I believe. So that's pretty cool. BK won his heat race, and Ellie Hensley won the second heat race. And then your top 5 was Brian Christan, Ian Steer, CJ Malik, Nick Petska, and Chris Klemko. Bandits, your heat race winners were Kevin B. Chasin. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Craig Cruiser, the old man still got it. And then Craig Cruiser won the feature with Kevin B. Chasin second, David McKelp's third, Ryan Johnson fourth, and Austin Orth fifth. your modifieds. Oh man, the show's already long, but man, that track was so lit on Tuesday where they can flip a modified by himself
Mm-hmm.
and an ATV with all the occupants on top. Which we didn't talk about that. Heat race one.
Michael's joking now.
Eric,
That was wrong.
It is. I can say I feel okay saying it because everyone was okay.
Yeah.
Eric Scriber won the modified heat 1, and Scott Tubin won heat 2. And then your top 5 were Steve Mueller, Joel Crowbridge, Eric Scribner, Scott Tubin, and Mike Wittenberg. 5th fast time, and then wingless went to Adam Taylor, with Ralph, the participant, Johnson 2nd, only 79 thousandths off a fast time. He'd be participating now. Heat race winners was Chris Klemko, Sean Swim, and Tyler Cuxhouse. And then your top 5, Eric Wilkie, Tyler Cuxhouse, Adam Taylor, Tim Cox, and Jimmy Sivia coming out of part-time retirement in Hanson's second car. So that was really good to see him out there. But yeah, man, okay. It's because I crossed out all the stuff that we're not doing, and that was under one of the things I accidentally crossed out. So that's why I missed the results. Professional here. Professional. All right. Well, that does it for this episode. Thank you, Autumn, so much for coming and participating, being the Ralph Johnson of the podcast tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Speaking of Ralph Johnson, while we're talking about so much, shout out to him. He put together a really good night on Tuesday. I mean, you just touched base on that he qualified second. His heat race, he got hung up. He got up to third. He got hung up for a little while. He got to second.
Mm-hmm.
Had he not been stuck behind, I think he was going to run down. I think Sean Swim ended up winning it. He was going to run him down and pass him. Like, he had that car rolling on Tuesday, and then I mean, he ran 6th in the feature. That's don't quote me on this, but that's got to be close to his, if not his best feature finish.
Yeah, he started 6th, finished 8th. Or wait, that's Saturday. Man, his results are so close together on both nights. Like, it's really hard. Seth Johnson. Yeah, Ralph Johnson started 5th, finished 6th. Man, so 2 top 10s in, the space of 3 days. That's
shout out to him.
Yeah. That participant is participating.
If he keeps it up, he's gonna have to take that off the top of his car and put on the contender.
The contender. I think we just start calling him the contender. Just push that out into space. But man, all right. So, and happy 4th of July, everyone, because it's 4th of July when this goes out. So everything is off. Oh my goodness. But yes, tune in for next week's episode, which we will be going through mid-season review and our predictions from the Wing 604s and the Wisconsin Wingless at Wilmot. And again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Bench Racing Podcast. We thank you for spending your time with us and look forward to talking more racing with you next week. Until then, peace out, Girl Scout.
Peace.
I'm waiting for Autumn to say bye.
Peace out to all the Girl Scouts.
There we go.
It's the ultimate ride. It's the all night.